Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I have a very special guest, Mr. Bruce here, who not only is a wonderful human and a fabulous teacher with many years of experience under his belt, but also happens to teach here at Animo. And for today's video, we thought we'd put together, well, Bruce actually put together a wonderful core-based sequence, not only just training the abs, but also going over core anatomy, how to properly breathe, and how to engage different parts of your core for a safe yoga practice and just safe general movement. If you do enjoy today's class and Bruce's teaching style, I will link to his YouTube channel and IG in the description box below so you can check out all of his stuff. And if this video goes well and you want to see him back on the channel, maybe he would be so kind to oblige us with another video later on.
It would be my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Ali. Yeah.
My pleasure.
And I hope you enjoy the class. Leave any of the feedback down below.
Down below, you know where to find us. And without further ado, let's get into this core sequence, shall we?
Welcome to the practice portion of our video. Thank you again, Ali, for having me. This is going to be, let's say, practice that focuses on really core stability. So the class, if you're ready, will actually start from our back. Now, Ali, when you come to lie down, and for those of you at home, letting the feet go a little bit further apart and let the thighs come to touch together. And then you can place your hands over top of your body. I would actually suggest the dominant hand over the abdomen and the other one over your chest. Feeling the weight of your hands against the body, letting the weight of the hands help you to soften just a little bit more. And then just start with a simple awareness of your breath. That's a long and slow breath in, and a long, slow breath out. You can focus on deepening the breath in, but then just as long as the inhale, allow the exhalation to be just as. Now, one thing I always like to share is that when it comes to breathing, as it relates to the core, thinking of doing so three-dimensionally. So picture when you blow up a balloon, the way that the balloon expands, it expands in all directions. So as you're breathing in, imagine that you expand the abdomen, you expand the ribs, you're moving them not only forward and back, not only up and down, but also side to side. And then the same thing, that when you're breathing out, this contraction or this drawing in also happens three-dimensionally. And one thing I would really love for you to take away from this video is that the core is not just the superficial layers or superficial abdominal muscles. It is also, as I mentioned, the pelvic floor, the diaphragm, the lower part of your back, the obliques. So really all of these muscles that help to stabilize the trunk. Last full breath here. Good. Very nice breathing there, Ali. You're going to take your arms and bring them over your head. Just allow your arms to reach over the head. And as you do so, walk your feet a little bit closer together so they're hip distance apart. Okay, and then for some of you, when your arms go over the head, you might feel a slight overextension of the lower back, in which case just press down a little bit more through your tailbone, your sacrum. Now bring your arms next to the body, hands flat onto the floor, and you're going to create a slight tilt of your pelvis where you press your low back down and scoop the bum slightly upwards. Now let your buttocks come back to the floor and then arch your lower back, press the tailbone down. It's like there's enough space that you could slide your fingers or the hand below. Exactly. And then press your lower back down. Again, find that tilt of the pelvis where there's a bit of scoop of the buttocks. Okay, lower your buttocks, arch the lower back, and just feel what is happening at the front part of your abdomen as well as the lower part of your back. Again, curl, and then lower the seat, arch. Now the next time that you curl the spine, or curl the buttocks, pause there. Okay, sort of feel that you're scooping the back of your hips towards the back of your knees, and then maintain that somewhat flat or rounding position and begin to come up one bone after the other, lifting the spine. So the spine is made up of several vertebrae. Think of lifting up one vertebra after the other until eventually your upper back lifts. So much like a bridge pose. And then pause at the top, focusing on the hips being the last thing to touch the floor. Begin to lower the upper part of your back, the middle part of your back, lower back, pull in through the abdomen, and then let your hips come down. Once the hips are on the floor, again, allow the natural curve of your lower back to occur. and then press your lower back into the floor with that slight scoop of your bum, and then connect with the front of the abdomen, lifting the hips up as you begin to, again, lift the spine all the way up. So when you can control the movement of the spine, this is also very much connected to the core. The core complements the spine complements the core. Lower the upper back, the middle part of your back, lower back, and then the hips. We're gonna go one more time. I'm gonna count to 10, and then I want you to think of moving. It's going to move you more slowly, and around 5 or 6, this is when your middle back is off the floor. So begin to curl the tailbone, lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. This is about halfway. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At the top, pause, and then allow your pelvis to relax a little bit, where you're almost allowing or creating the natural curve of the low back, and then scoop the bum forward. Think of the 2 bones at the front of your pelvis drawing in towards your low stomach. Very good. Now, lowering for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Hold it. Scoop your bum up a little bit more, pull or hollow out the space of the abdomen, and then lower for that last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then relax. Just relax the body. Now, lace your fingers. You're gonna lift your head and interlock the fingers just behind the head. Elbows, can you keep them mostly wide? Go ahead and just place your head and arms on the floor. So here we're working a little bit more with the pelvic tilt. And then now you are going to move into a flexion of the upper back. So a curling of the spine, and you'll feel in a moment exactly what that does. So take a breath in. As you exhale, lift your head and your shoulders off the ground. As you lift your head, as best as you can, try not to tuck the chin so much so there is a slight gap or lift or space of your throat. And as you lift, let it be from your sternum, this bone here down the center of the ribs. Exactly, very nice, Ali. And then you can feel that. I feel like Ali can feel that. There's a stronger contraction through the upper part of the abdominals. So this is really what I'm asking you to target. See if you can pull the lower ribs down a little bit more, lifting another vertebra higher, and then lowering the body slowly towards the floor. And then once you come down, just relax the head, relax the neck especially. So we're really working against the force of gravity. When you have your body in a position that isn't standing, right? So we're accustomed to standing up or being more vertical, and so our body is accustomed to that space and gravity. When we move ourselves into a different orientation, such as Ali is in right now, and press up against the force of gravity, we're then having to use our musculature in a different way to stabilize, but also to stay in that lift. So breathe in here, and then on the exhalation, again, lift your head, lift your shoulders. As best as you can, keep the elbows wide. Some of you will want to close the elbows. Keep the elbows wide, the armpits open, and then kind of feel your back, the part of your back that's still on the mat, and see if you can lift one vertebra more. Hold that very position, and can you additionally scoop your butt a little bit off the floor? So it's almost like it's just the middle part of your back. Now lower the pelvis down, and then lower one vertebra after the other. Don't just drop, lower with control. And then once you come down onto the mat, again, just relax the sides of the neck, the shoulders, and we'll do it one more time. You'll do it one more time, and I want you to really do your best to support the lift of your upper body from those upper abdominals rather than your neck. If it's a little bit challenging in this particular position, the neck muscles will be used as sort of compensation, and here we're trying to really isolate the upper abdominals. So take a deep breath in. Exhale, lift your head, lift your shoulders. So again, creating that curling action. I can see Ali really working here. Pull those ribs down and in. Again, let's get the tailbone to curl. Lift the pelvis even just a little bit. Almost feel like the tip of your spine is curling up towards the ceiling, and then that part of your back that's still on the floor, press it down, lift a bit higher on both sides. Lower the hips first. Go slow, slower than you want to, one vertebra after the next. And then once you lie down, straighten your arms over the ears, over the head, and then with the arms as they are, stretch your arms away from you, getting longer through the sides. Really get long through all that space that you just contracted. I'm trying to get out of the habit of saying we when it's you who's doing the movements. Okay, bring your arms to the floor next to your body, palms face down, and just to release all of that space, let's one more time. As before, curl your tailbone, lifting one vertebra after the other and coming all the way up through the body. So anytime you are working with your core, I want you to think not just the front side of your body, but also the back and the sides. We'll get to those moments, we'll get to those sides in a moment. Come down slowly. And once you're lying down on the mat, bring your knees towards your chest. Hold on to the back of your knees. Go for the back of the knees here. And then lift your feet up, rocking along the spine, forward and back a few times. And then come to place your feet down and have the feet a little bit in front of you here. Yes, good. Now, flex your ankles so it's only the heels on the mat. Place your hands on the outside of the knees. Go on the outside of the knees. Actually, you can walk your legs a bit closer together here as well, Ali, so that they touch. Now think of the hands on the outer knees and then lean back so your arms are straight, okay? Lean back and keep the lower part of your back lifting as though you're pressing the lower back forward. And then the hands, you're not holding the legs. I want you to feel that there's more of a press into the legs so that you're really supporting yourself again from this front part. Again, we're working against the force of gravity. We're on a slight angle. Now with your right arm, it's gonna be a bit of a challenge just because we do have the wall here, but Ali, go ahead and lift your right arm up and then open your chest to the right, reaching the arm back without keeping the left arm straight, I should say, and then kind of just feel whatever it is that you feel, or what do you feel there?
Yeah, I feel.
Okay. Bring your right arm, so reverse it, go back up. There we go, yeah, and then palm just on the outside of the knee, and then go ahead, just bend your elbows, round your back into a cat-like pose. Bring yourself forward as well as you do that. Kind of give yourself a little bit of relief. Then straighten your arms, lift the chest, leaning back. Just notice here again, Ali has for the most part a long spine. Let the left arm reach up into the air and then open your chest to the left. And then here, hopefully most of us are feeling that contraction through the obliques and as well as through the intercostal muscles, which are the muscles that run through the inside of the ribs. Try to keep your right arm straight here, Ali. Good. And then reverse it, left arm going back up, outside of the knee, touch the knee, and then bend your elbows, bring yourself forward and round into a little cat pose, cat-like spine. We'll do that one more time each side. Straighten your arms, lean back. Okay, lift your right arm up, open your chest. Now, Ali has good rotation here. Good. Ellie has a really nice range of motion, let's say, but some of you may not be opening so much. Just really feel that point where you get that feeling that the chest is tight. Reverse the arm, going back and up. This time, directly lift your left arm, open your chest, and reach to the left side. Continue to feel that the lower back is moving in towards the abdomen, and then reverse the left arm going all the way up. Place your hand outside of the knee, bend your elbows, and pull your chest forward, round your back. Good. Take a moment, open the thighs, bring the knees wide, soles together, and then lengthening the spine, lift your chest. Exhale, begin to hinge forward from your pelvis, but at the same time press your thigh bones down. So in pressing the outer legs down, and think of doing that not from the press of your arms, but instead from the outer hip muscle. Using the outer hips, exactly, really using the glutes to press the thighs down. So again, when we think about the core being more than just the front part of the abdomen, you can also think of your glutes as part of a group of muscles that support the trunk stability. Trunk stability is really what is core. Now lift your chest, come up. Let's tuck the hands. Please tuck your hands underneath your knees. So close your knees, bring your hands underneath the knees, and then like sort of go behind. No, you got it.
Yeah.
So knees together, and then hands under the knees. Exactly. Lift the chest, lean back, and then lift both of your feet up for Navasana, boat pose. Now, draw the thighs and front abdomen as close together as you can, while maintaining the length through the lower part of the back. Now, one thing I like to emphasize when it comes to boat pose is really the hip flexion. So sometimes if the hip muscles are, I'm going to say, weaker relative to the quadriceps, then the quadriceps, the muscles of the front of the thighs, will be what helps to keep you up. I want you to see if you can really feel the front of the hips working in concert with the front of the abdomen to maintain this sort of closure between both the front of the upper body and the front of the lower body. Let go of your hands and reach forward. Now, for some of you, when you let go of your arms, you might roll back a little bit, in which case just bend your knees. You do not have to have the heels up. I would almost say like lifting the heels or the legs straight up in the air is more of a progression. Let's call it a progression rather than advance. It's more just like if you have that space in the hamstrings. Now keep pushing the lower back forward in towards the abdomen. Squeeze the knees a little bit closer together and just continue to feel that the sternum, your breastbone, is lifting. Take one more breath in here. And then exhale, cross your legs as you place your hands at the front of your mat and step yourselves to a high plank pose. High plank. Okay, excellent. Now, plank pose can also be considered a static posture that does help with core strength. So when you're in plank pose, what's helping you from dropping, so go ahead and just relax a little bit the pelvis here and kind of drop this part here. So for some of us, when we do plank pose, or for some of you when you're doing plank pose, you might have this feeling of the body collapsing against the force of gravity. What helps you to lift up against it is really the front part of the body. So the front of the ribs drawing in, the front of the abdomen, the front of the hip bones lifting to help stabilize. So there's not a lot of pressure on the lower part of the back.
And the glutes too, no?
Pardon me?
Before the glutes as well.
Exactly. So the glutes, and then making sure you're not dumping into the shoulder joints. Take one more big breath here in, and then exhale, downward facing dog, allowing the hips to press back and up. Okay. Take your right leg to the sky. So right leg all the way back and up, high into the sky. Right thigh travels forward towards the chest. As it comes forward, think of also moving towards a plank in that your shoulders are over the wrists. Here, some of you, again, will kind of dump against the force of gravity or drop into it. Instead, round your spine like the cat, lift your thigh, but also lift your heel tight to the glutes so you get that sort of tightening or engagement of the hamstrings. Now lower the shin bone. Let's lower the shin bone all the way down. Let it touch the floor. Look in front of you, lift the chin, and then exhale, look down and lift the thigh up and away from the ground into the chest. Well, you're gonna do that twice more. Lower the knee, but this time don't touch the floor if it's possible. Try to let the knee hover and then the thigh back and up. Lower the knee down one more time. Maybe for some of you, you need to touch the floor. Exhale last time, all the way up and in. Downward dog splits, let your right leg lift all the way back up into the sky. Come forward to one leg plank pose. Plank with your right leg staying up, making sure that for the most part your hips are in one line, and then plank with both feet down, and then steadily lower all the way down onto your mat. Go ahead and lower all the way down so you're lying on the abdomen. So some of you might use a chaturanga dandasana, that's your low push-up. In any case, we're lying flat. Arms straighten to the back of the room, palms face the sky, and then breathe in, lift your arms and your chest. For this first lift of the chest, I want you to feel that you're pressing down through the tops of your feet. Root through the 10 toenails, the tops of the feet into the ground, and then feel the muscles of your back lifting you up a little bit higher. And then come down slowly. So remember what I said earlier about the core, not just being at the front side of the body, not just at the sides, but really the back as well. Okay, one more time. Inhale, lift your arms, your chest. And for those of you who feel okay at this point to do so, lift your thighs. Point to the feet, reach the legs away from you. And can you really bring awareness to the back of your hips, essentially your buttocks, and can you feel them toning in the lift of your thighs higher? Come down slowly to the ground. As you reach the mat, just pause, take a full breath here. And then downward facing dog, exhale. Okay, I really want to cycle through the left side of that, if that's okay, everyone. In that down dog, complete breath out. Okay, left leg moves back and up. Okay, so even when you're lifting the leg, the buttock here is supporting that lift. This is what we call hip extension. Bring yourself forward to plank and then left knee towards the chest, squeezing it in as best as you can. And really what's going to help you from dropping to the floor is the push of your hands. Press through your hands well. This first one, you're lower the knee all the way down to touch the floor. Go ahead and just touch the yoga mat. You can look forward a bit like you're arching the spine. And then exhale, pull that thigh up and in. Right, so we have two options. The knee comes all the way down again, or you possibly hover the shin bone, a little bit more difficult. Exhale, lift the thigh, everyone, into the chest. One more time, lowering the knee down. Maybe it touches, maybe it hovers. Exhale last time, and then hold. Kick your left leg back and up all the way into the sky. And then come to one leg plank pose. So plank with your left leg staying lifted. And for those of you who feel that it's really difficult, you can always stack the foot on top of the back of your right ankle. One more moment here. Pull everyone the front of those hip points up and away from the ground and lower slowly to your yoga mat. Bend your arms. As you come to lie down, point the feet back. Your arms this time will straighten to the front of your space, whatever that front is. Now, when it comes to lifting our bodies when lying down, some of you will want to look forward, and that's fine, but really feel the back of your neck. If you feel like the back of the neck is too tense, especially now that the arms are over the head, rather look down so you're just letting the neck be free. Okay? Arms are straight, so you're going to turn your arms so the palms face each other, and then inhale. For now, legs stay down, lift your chest and your arms. Reach long through your arms. Remember the feeling that I said about the neck. If that's the case, look down. Reach through your arms and lift the tips of your thumbs higher. Connect with your back. Really identify where in your back you feel a sense of activation. Come up more and then lower slowly down. As you lie down, pause, take a rest. And then with your hands to the sides of your chest, tabletop pose. Come to a tabletop pose, the hands and your knees. Okay, now in this position, you're going to step the right foot. Just step the foot, keep the knee where it is, and move your foot to the floor on the right side of your mat. So bring the knee down.
On to the side.
Yeah, there we go, exactly like. So your right shin bone is on a slight angle, like 45 degrees or so, and then take your left leg and left arm up. So imagine a side plank variation, where you open the chest, lift your left leg and left arm. To take this top foot higher, you're gonna use the outer hip, lift the left leg more, and then take your top arm, sweep it over your head. Now, bend the elbow and the knee so that they come together. Okay, a little front body action, but also a bit of contraction on the side. Straighten the leg, straighten the arm. This time, bring with the arm and leg straight, bring the fingers and the toes as close together as you can. Good. Leg and arm opening the side of the body, the whole front line. Bend your elbow, bend your knee, a little crunch, but really compress, hold it. Squeeze together. Straighten your arm, straighten the leg, and then one more time with the leg straight, arm straight, reach fingers and toes together. Hold it as well. Lift both the inside of the leg and the arm a bit higher, and then reach the leg back, arm forward. Okay, left hand and left foot to the floor, high plank, right foot stepping back. Good, breathing in. Come forward slightly. I invite you to bend your elbows just a little bit, only to the degree where you're confident you're not going to collapse. It's different for everyone. High plank, straighten your arms, and then lower your knees down. Find tabletop pose. Okay, so this time, of course, you're going to step your left foot to the left of the mat. And so here you can see more clearly that shin bone is on a slight angle. I like this angle. It's going to really help for support as you then kick the right leg back and then lift your right arm towards the sky. Please feel your lifted leg. Okay? Some of you might just feel like it's a bit hanging towards the floor, so connect with this outer hip muscle to lift the leg higher. Now, right arm, sweep it alongside your ear, and then bend your elbow and knee together. Get it as close as you can. Again, crunch, really squeeze it in. Straighten both the leg and the arm, and based on the space you have available to you, bring your right leg straight and right arm to touch. Leg and arm away, and actually feel maybe a little bit of extension, so you open that front line, and then crunch, elbow and knee together, right? So it's kind of like you move from one closure to opening, open again, leg and arm long, and then last time you bring your right arm and leg straight together, holding. Can you lift the inside of the thigh more? Allow the leg to sweep back, arm alongside the ear. Right hand and right foot to the floor, left foot steps you back to plank pose. Now, let's say you have a block within your vicinity. You're going to take that block and bring it in between the inner thighs. Bring the block between the inner part of your thighs. Because when you shift from the plank to the lowering of the body, some of us will lose connection to that stability, that core stability. So by having the block squeezed together with the thighs, this will just help you to call on some of that inner inner core strength. Shift forward, again, only to the degree that you can bend your arms lower. Pause. Squeeze against the block. Push into the hands, straighten your arms. Nicely done. Downward dog. Exhale. Good. Now we're going to use this downward dog to slow things down. You can keep the block there if you wish, or remove it to the side. Press well through your hands and perhaps close your eyes as you feed into your breath. Allow the abdomen to expand out and retract in naturally in concert with breath. Okay, for those of you with the block between the legs, release it, come down onto the knees, and then bring your feet to the front of your mat. Return to where we began, lying on the back. Have your feet a little bit wider, and then the knees falling together, constructive rest. Letting the hand, again, the dominant hand, if that's what was there first, and then the other one over your heart. And then again, returning to that three-dimensional breath. The expansion of the abdomen and the ribs. Imagine or visualize your diaphragm contracting as it presses against the abdominal organs, giving space to the lungs to open. And then exhale, visualize again that diaphragm relaxing and going back and up into its position, its original position. Breathe in, widen the body. Feel it moving front and back, side to side, up and down. Exhale, squeezing or feeling the ribs draw in and knit together. Okay, one more long breath like that, slow and steady. And then let your hands rest along the sides of your body. Bring the soles together and the knees wide. We can really take the core in so many different directions. I really wish that I could share so much more with you all at home. But as far as this goes, I hope you feel great, and we'll see you the next time, I think. It's up to Ali.
Yeah. But thank you, everybody. Wishing you a beautiful rest of your day. See you back here very soon. Ciao.